over Prince William's latest royal order. There's no way going back for them. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna learn a new trade? What are they gonna do? Meghan can go back to yachting.
That he's horrible, because he's certainly not. He's actually a very kind and caring person, and staff love working for him and are loyal to him. You know, like, he has all of his former staff members.
People are reporting that the king may consider stripping the Sussexes of their royal titles. Is this a worthy sanction after these unfounded allegations about the king and the Princess of Wales emerged?
Meghan thought she walked away from the crown. She didn't realize the crown could walk away from her too. That single truth now hangs over everything like a shadow she can't outrun. For years, she believed leaving was power, control, freedom. She framed it as escape, as bravery, as choosing herself over a rigid institution that, in her version of events, never wanted her anyway. But here's the cruel irony she never fully prepared for. The monarchy doesn't chase, it waits. And when it finally moves, it does so quietly, permanently, and without emotion. Let's not pretend the couple tiptoed out of the monarchy. They scorched the earth on their way out. Meghan labeled the family cold and inhospitable. Harry accused the institution of racism, and both of them treated royal secrets like currency to sell books and stream shows. They let Netflix reenact private family moments with the subtlety of a soap opera. They let Hollywood paint William as a screaming villain. And every time things quieted down, another interview, another documentary, another conveniently timed revelation landed like a grenade. That wasn't distance, that was detonation. And while the public argued sides, picked heroes, chose villains, the palace did what it has always done best. It watched, it remembered.
Nobody wants them back, in spite of all the PR spin that Charles is putting out there through the mainstream media. And I want to start this by telling you that people wrote to Parliament about Harry and Meghan.
It documented, because outrage fades, but records don't. And for a very long time, the royal family absorbed every blow without striking back, bound by tradition, discipline, and that old suffocating rule they lived by for generations. For years, the palace absorbed it all, keeping that strange royal vow of silence intact. But when Queen Elizabeth passed, that silence changed shape. Charles inherited not just the crown, but the mess. William, no longer the peace-seeking brother, stepped into a harder, colder version of himself. And that quiet palace philosophy, never complain, never explain, no longer fit the moment. The shift was subtle at first, easy to miss. No dramatic statements, no explosive press releases, just a recalibration, the kind that only happens when patience runs out.
Already planning this out, and it's really not so much that he said they are not going to have roles, he's just not mentioning them at all. There's just a moratorium on them. Tell me what you think is going to happen when Prince William ascends and takes.
And suddenly, the monarchy wasn't playing defense anymore. It was reorganizing. And that's when things started to feel very different. So now the monarchy is responding in the only language it knows won't backfire. Paperwork, titles, succession protocols, the one arena Meghan cannot spin, shape, or soften. Gossip inside the palace says this isn't revenge, it's restraint. The polished version of payback, the royal kind. This is the battlefield where emotion doesn't matter, where tears don't translate, where PR collapses under procedure. And it's exactly where Meghan has no leverage. She can fight headlines, she can flood social media, but she cannot negotiate with protocol written centuries before her name ever mattered. Anyone watching Prince William over the past 2 years has noticed the shift. The warmth is still there for the public, but behind palace gates, insiders describe a man who has turned almost surgical in his decision-making. He's measured, quiet, and so focused it unsettles people who used to know him. One aide whispered that he's become the type of leader who will do what must be done, even if it stings. And that alone says everything about where Harry and Meghan now stand. This is not the William who once hoped Meghan might be a refreshing addition.
Coronation. I mean, that is extraordinary. That shows you how far things have fallen. I don't think there is a way back. I really don't. I guess you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
This isn't the brother who believed the Fab Four could actually exist. Those early days of optimism feel like a lifetime ago, because William watched everything unravel in real time. The Oprah fallout, the racism allegations, the claims about Kate making Meghan cry, the book that dragged his wife, father, and institution through the mud. And then came the Netflix series that took private family moments and turned them into melodrama. He didn't explode, he didn't play the PR game, he simply changed. He learned the rule every future king eventually learns. Protect the institution even if it hurts. And now he's enforcing that rule with a kind of quiet ruthlessness that even palace staff didn't expect.
The Duke title from Prince Harry. They had a formal petition
Sources say he sees the monarchy as a body-fighting infection, something that must be cut away before the rot spreads. And unfortunately for Meghan and Harry, the royal surgeons seem to have placed Montecito on the operating table. Inside Buckingham Palace, there is a phrase floating through the halls, softly spoken, almost poetic in its cruelty. The sun is setting over Montecito and it isn't rising again. At first, it sounded like another cryptic royal quip, the kind staff whisper out of habit. But the more you listen to insiders, the more you realize they mean it permanently. The mood is that reconciliation is no longer a realistic dream. It's a story the public clings to, not one the royal family plans for. In their view, Harry and Meghan didn't simply distance themselves, they detonated something. Every interview, every leak, every glossy production added another crack. And while the world watched, the palace was quietly taking notes, adjusting priorities, redirecting energy toward the heirs who actually want to be part of the system. The focus now is William, Kate, and their children. The future Charles and the Wales grandchildren represent. The institution is tightening, not expanding, and there is simply no space left for a California branch that operates more like a brand than a family extension. Senior aides are blunt about it. If Meghan wanted her children to be part of the royal world, she should have allowed them to be part of the royal world. The thing that's been most astonishing for me over the past couple of weeks is that Prince Harry is so deluded that he genuinely believes that he can raise his two children, Archie and Lily, in the United States. The royals believe Meghan built a life where royal titles are accessories, not responsibilities. And Charles, ever the traditionalist, has stopped pretending otherwise. His latest move isn't a shock decision, it's the final note of a song that has been playing quietly for years. Behind the scenes, the real storm haunting Meghan isn't royal protocol, it's her bank account. People close to the Sussex circle quietly admit she's been carrying a financial anxiety she refuses to show on camera. The glossy PR smile hides it well, but the numbers don't lie. The Netflix era that once seemed like a golden escape is sputtering. The Spotify deal didn't just fade, it crashed so loudly, industry people are still joking about the podcaster who forgot to podcast. And without a major income stream, Montecito suddenly feels less like a palace and more like a very expensive countdown clock. Meghan built her entire post-royal image on the glamour of being adjacent to the monarchy. Strip that away and what's left? She has no identity on her own. Meghan's biggest challenge these days isn't the palace. It's not knowing what she's supposed to be anymore. And every time an assistant announces her as the Duchess of Sussex before a tiny round meeting with 3 people, the eye roll heard across the internet grows louder. Nothing has damaged the Sussex image in Britain more than the pattern everyone can now see clearly. Harry flies in alone over and over, year after year. If the titles mean so much, why doesn't Meghan ever show her face in the country attached to them? It's an uncomfortable contradiction. Then came the moment that felt less like policy and more like a perfectly sharpened dagger. The updated succession guidelines. Rule 1. Any royal heir must spend the majority of their childhood in the UK under official royal supervision. Rule 2. Only children of working royals retain positions in the line of succession. Rule 3. Heirs must have UK citizenship or at minimum dual citizenship. 3 rules, 3 strikes. People inside the palace swear it's coincidence, but even insiders can't keep a straight face. This is punishment. And she may actually have a point. The monarchy removing her children with the kind of precision that leaves no room for debate. The security rule is the palace's polite way of saying, if you choose America, you lose the monarchy. And Meghan just discovered the palace is closing one of those doors. Slowly, quietly, permanently. Charles has talked about a slimmed-down monarchy since the 1990s. This isn't modernizing, it's editing. The family tree is being trimmed with precision. You are either in or out. And now the slimmed-down monarchy is becoming a very literal reality. While the palace was polishing their press releases, Meghan was doing what she always does when she feels backed into a corner, calling her lawyers quietly, strategically on both sides of the Atlantic. Can they legally remove my children from the line of succession? The legal answer wasn't comforting, so the palace launched a clarity review. Not loud, not dramatic, but deadly. They are combing through birth records, medical confirmations, timing of announcements, documentation of procedures. This isn't a feud anymore. She's facing institutional examination. Cold, clinical, emotionless, and that may be the most terrifying thing of all. Because when the monarchy stops arguing and starts auditing, it's already too late. You can leave the monarchy, but the monarchy can leave you too. And what makes this moment sting even deeper is the silence that followed. No rebuttal from the palace, no clarification, no soothing explanation wrapped in polite language. Just the slow, suffocating quiet that Meghan knows all too well. The kind of quiet that signals a decision has already been made and the door is no longer open for discussion. Silence, in royal terms, is not uncertainty. It is finality. Those close to her say this is the first time the ground has truly shifted beneath her feet. Not an article, not a commentator, not another cruel headline she can dismiss as bias. This is structural. This is systemic. This is the crown doing what it has done for 1,000 years, protecting itself by tightening the circle and shrinking the room until only the obedient remain inside it. And Meghan, for the first time, isn't being criticized. She's being erased. She always believed relevance was something she could manufacture. That visibility equaled power. That if she stayed loud enough, visible enough, emotional enough, the monarchy would be forced to respond. But the palace didn't rise to meet her volume. It lowered the lights, it moved the furniture, it rewrote the rules. And suddenly, the spotlight she relied on no longer points in her direction. There's a particular kind of panic that sets in when a person realizes the system they've been orbiting doesn't need them anymore. Friends say Meghan oscillates between fury and disbelief. One moment convinced this is a personal attack, the next insisting it will blow over, that something will intervene, that someone will step in. But no one is stepping in, not Parliament, not the palace, not Hollywood. Everyone is watching, no one is moving. Because here's the unspoken truth no one wants to say out loud. The monarchy has survived wars, divorces, scandals, abdications, and global humiliation. It survives by outlasting, by letting time do the damage. And Meghan's greatest fear isn't losing a title, it's becoming irrelevant. It's waking up one day and realizing the institution she built her post-royal identity around has continued seamlessly without her children, without even mentioning their names. The cruelty of it is how clean it all is. No screaming matches, no explosive banishments, just rules, just ink, just centuries-old procedures sliding quietly into place. The kind of cruelty that doesn't bruise the skin but fractures the ego. Because how do you fight something that refuses to fight back? And deep down, Meghan knows this isn't about punishment, it's about control. The monarchy reclaiming authority over a narrative she tried to hijack, reasserting dominance without saying a word, letting her exhaust herself while they simply proceed. That's the part that keeps her awake at night. Not anger, not hatred, obsolescence. She once believed she could exist between worlds, Hollywood glamour and royal prestige, California freedom and British tradition. But the crown has now made something brutally clear. There is no in-between, no hybrid role, no half-in, half-out fairy tale. You choose the institution, or the institution chooses without you. And as the palace continues forward, focused, streamlined, unbothered, Meghan is left standing on the outside of a system she thought she had outgrown, realizing far too late that she didn't walk away from power. Power walked away from her.